Student loans. Let's talk about it.
In other news, the Trump administration has announced we will put an end to Joe Biden's illegal student loan bailout attempts. No student loan has been referred to collection since March of 2020. That comes to an end. On May 5th, the Department of Education will resume involuntary collections for borrowers with defaulted federal student loans. The student loan portfolio controlled by the federal government is nearly $1.6 trillion, but fewer than 4 out of 10 borrowers are in repayment. This is unsustainable, unfair, and a huge liability for American taxpayers. Debt cannot be wiped away. It just ends up getting transferred to others. So why should Americans who didn't go to college or went to college and responsibly paid back their loans pay for the student loans of other Americans?
Oh, baby. We have student loan payments being pulled from people's paychecks, otherwise known as garnishing wages. People are in an uproar of this happening since people really haven't had to pay any of their student loans since 2020, and they're starting to lose their minds. Now, you have two sides of this argument. You have one side where everyone thinks that, student loans should be forgiven and no one should have to pay back their debt. Then you have the other side of this argument where they think student loans should not be forgiven, and if you've taken out the debt as an adult, you need to pay back the loan. I do think a lot of people were taken advantage of how they were getting loans and what time frame of life they were in when they received the loans. I mean, what 18-year-old understands, one, the life decisions that they're making about making a long-term career of going to college, and college is basically handing out these loans. I look at me in the mortgage industry, right? When I'm a mortgage broker, I have to analyze so many different things: income, credit score, what their liability payments are, all these different things I have to analyze as a mortgage broker in order to see if this is actually a client that I can give a loan to and to actually become approved. Student loans, it was like, hey, I'm going to school. I may get a degree, I may not, but here you go. Here's some student loan money. You have no income, you're a broke college kid. Go ahead and take $100,000 worth of student loans out and see what happens. It's predatory lending.
Not me entering my final stage of full-blown crash out. I'm literally crashing out. I was so excited for tonight. Oh my God, I'm so worked up. I was going to get dressed up. I mean, I still am. I'm definitely getting a martini now. Last week, I fucking hate student loans. Last month, I set up auto pay because I don't want to forget. I don't like being late. You could never get on the phone with these stupid student loan people. And I log on today because I have to get my fucking tax documents. Fuck my life. Life never ends. I'm like, oh my God, it says my payment's late. And I'm like, how does that even make sense? I set up auto pay last month with my card and my bank and all the stupid information. And then I call them today and they're like, it's going to be a 3-hour and 50-minute wait time. And then I'm trying to have dad help me. And I'm like, what did you guys have me set up auto pay for that if my payments are now late? And I'm like, I'm not crashing out over Mohila. You're ugly. I don't have time for this. I'm crying over a fucking stupid student loan.
So that's also what I've been hearing a lot lately is literally student loan sites are overwhelmed with the amount of people who have been logging in now trying to figure out what they're going to do with these payments.
A new reality for more than 5 million student loan borrowers. Starting today, the Department of Education says borrowers who did not pay on time could damage their credit scores and even have their wages garnished.
Are you worried about drowning? Yes. I mean, we're kind of drowning as it is.
Jana Hartwood owes more than $40,000 in student loans from her nursing degree.
I don't think anyone takes out a loan with the intention of not paying it back. It's how easily you can pay it back that's the problem.
2 years ago, her son was born with a medical condition. To treat it, Hartwood exhausted her savings and had to take out money from her 401k. During the pandemic, student loans were put into forbearance, but when repayments resumed last year, Hartwood says she was never notified. After hearing of the agency's collection decision from a news report, she checked her account.
I was shocked. Like, I had no idea that my loans were delinquent at that point.
So they never told you that you had any problems?
Nope. I checked every email. I got statements that had a 0 on it.
With all of the chaos right now, it is exceptionally cruel to start these draconian collection tactics at this time.
Persis Yu is an expert in student loan law. She says steep job cuts at the Education Department and steps to dismantle it have left the loan system in disarray.
Borrowers cannot get answers from their servicers. Many of the servicers have hours-long call wait times in order to get just a simple answer about how much do I owe, how do I pay my loan.
For borrowers who have faced financial hardship, it's especially difficult.
There are not provisions that take into consideration when families have extraordinary circumstances, like having to pay for the medical care of a loved one. It's an impossible standard for so many to meet, and that's why so many borrowers do fall into default.
The Education Department under President Trump blames the former administration, telling CBS News because of their, quote, attempts to transfer student debt to every taxpayer, the student loan portfolio is in a dire financial state. As for Hartwood, after hours on the phone, she still has no clear answer on her loans.
How much can you afford to pay back right now?
None. It's not easy. Every week is hard. Every paycheck is immediately gone. It's gone before we even, have it.
This is why you can't live paycheck to paycheck, guys. I mean, this is why I stress so much the importance of financial literacy and, the serious of managing your money on a month-to-month basis. I mean, we have to, and I understand times are tough right now. I get it. Everything's expensive. Prices have gone up. Wages have not kept up with inflation. I know all the arguments, but that doesn't change the motive of the real goal here. The real goal here for everyone should be to become more financially literate, to understand how to create a budget, how to live below their means. I mean, that would fix mostly all financial issues, from your everyday working hard American to higher up in the government, because they're obviously not living below their means either. Look at the state of our economy and the state of our national debt we have crisis going on right now. But with that, it's like if everyone just like took a step back, lowered their lifestyle, created a budget, and lived below their means, there's a lot of progress that could be had in just making those 3 changes right there. It just starts with you.
I'm not paying back my student loans. I do not care. Oh, but what about your credit score? What am I going to do with a good credit score? Buy a house on starvation wages? Buy a car I can't afford to insure? I'm not paying them back. I don't give a shit about my credit score. Oh, they're going to garnish your wages. Most of us are underemployed. If they start taking additional money out of my paycheck, I just won't work. My life will not get worse. I'm not going to have the money anyway, so you can't garnish what isn't there. I grew up in a far-right, conservative, hardcore Republican family, and since kindergarten, I have been conditioned to believe that if I did not go to college, I would not be successful. I was told that if I locked in, got great grades in high school, got into college, focused, and got my degree, that I would have a life similar to the life my parents had, where my dad worked one job for 35 years, was able to buy a house and go on vacation and support his family. That doesn't exist anymore. There's no jobs out there with pension plans. There's no jobs out there that let people my age just buy a house. So what was all that work for? Generations of Americans have been told that if they went to college and they did the right thing, took out these loans, that it would be worth it. And most of us are finding out it's not even remotely close to worth it. You're telling me these millionaires and billionaires were able to get these PPE loans forgiven that they took out during the pandemic for millions of dollars, but I have 30 grand in college debt left and I'm refusing to pay it back, and now I'm the problem?
Okay, with that, $30,000 is a lot of money, right? But again, $30,000 spanned across however many years they're wanting you to pay that off, you can do it. I mean, you can. Even if you're working, a lower end wage job, go work your 40 hours a week and then use another 40 hours of the week to do a side hustle or to try to start something new, landscaping business, or, go work in the trades. And I will say too, college is definitely getting overrated. I think our generation's really going to be the first ones to accept that. And I also will say that college, you can still make a very good living if you choose the right degree, right? That's the key point there. A lot of people just go to college and get some bullshit degree and think, oh yeah, I'm going to be successful now because I have a degree in, history or whatever it is. But the problem is, what kind of jobs can you get with a history degree? Now, if you want to be a history teacher, cool, there you go. Go get your history degree. What I'm thinking of is like, if you're really wanting to go to college, have a game plan, have a plan of action of the degree that's actually going to give you a job. It's a proven degree to give you a job. So for example, engineering, any STEM related degree is most likely going to give you a job right after college. If you want to go in the medical field, another great industry to be in that you usually have to go to college for. There are many different degree programs out there that will lead to a job after graduation. The trick is that you have to find an affordable college. One of the best things you can do that I recommend is like the A+ program. I don't know if every state has this still, but the A+ program pays for community college 2 years for free if you do like 40 hours of tutoring. It's a no-brainer. Now, most people out there, young kids, I was actually one of them, but luckily my mom slapped me into shape and made me do this. I wanted to go to university right away because that's what all my friends were doing, and I wanted to go live the college life the first 2 years as a freshman and sophomore and, do all the fun stuff at whatever you do at a, in-state university would do. But my mom was like, no, you freaking idiot. You're going to tutor, you're going to get the scholarship, and you're going to go and get 2 free years at the local community college. Thank God my mom and dad made me do that. It saved me a tremendous amount of money on my, college tuition. And then when I moved away from home and I actually did go to university to get my degree in engineering, I lived a very, very broke life. I wasn't working that much. I was really focused on getting through college because getting an engineering degree was tough. But during that time frame, I lived like a broke college kid. A lot of these people are using these student loans for vacations and buying a car or whatever the hell else they're doing with it and living in fancy apartments and all this stuff. I was like, no, that's not what it's for. Pay your tuition, get through it, get your degree, have some fun, but live a cheap life. So that way you're not dealing with this.
Just found out that my estimated student loan debt payoff is in the year 2049. 2049. 2049. Do I have my fiance start planning my funeral today or tomorrow?
Yikes. Yeah, when you put it to payoff date in years, yeah, that's scary.
As of May 5th, they're taking 15% of your wages towards student loans.
Wait, you mean the money that you agreed to pay back, you are now surprised that they're coming after you for it? Okay.
Y'all, I've been ignoring student loans since I've been in school.
Well, there goes your first problem. Instead of ignoring the problem that you have, how about you try to find a solution? You should have been making plans to pay the money back. But more than likely, you went to school for a degree that wasn't going to give you shit. And you racked up a shitload of student loan debt.
If y'all know how much I owe in student loan, y'all would think I went to school to be a lawyer. And it's a degree that wasn't even providing me a decent lifestyle. I was just living off vibes.
What the hell does that even mean, you were living off vibes? You went to school for something. You took out a loan that you promised to pay back. This is where you are supposed to be the smart one and put yourself in a position where you can get a career after you get out of school, pay the loan back, and live a good life. But you were living off the vibes, whatever the fuck that means. It just sounds like you were a very irresponsible person, and the consequences of your actions are coming to bite you in your fucking ass, and you don't like it.
Whoa. Alrighty then. I am excited to read the comments section about this one.
We have 68,000 people over the age of 62 who are still paying their crippling student loans. Student loan payments for federal loans are now due again. For 4 years, those federal loans were paused, but they're not paused anymore. It is estimated that millions of borrowers are going to have their credit hit this summer because they have not started making the payments again. In Georgia, we have 1.7 million student loan borrowers. Nationally, we have 47 million students who have borrowed. And many people feel like they will be paying their entire life.
It really is a scary thing, guys. I mean, almost every client I work with in the mortgage industry, when I look at their, finances and stuff, I see student loans on there. But like, here's the other thing though. Like, we had 4 years of not having to pay your loans, and some of those loans, how they were set up, the interest rate the interest did not occur on those loans either. That's when you should have been paying them. When there was no interest occurring on some of these loans. Not all of them were like that. But when they weren't accruing interest, you should have been paying them off as fast as possible. But now they're coming back up. Everyone's like, oh, I haven't thought about these for 4 or 5 years. I think this could have some bigger consequences. I really do. For a lot of people out there. And I hate that for them. I hope they can buckle down and figure this out. Because this is a big problem for a lot of people. And I hate to see it. I really do.
I just saw this video where this girl's student loan payments are going to go from $400 to about $900 since everyone has to start paying their student loans back again, which we haven't for the past 5 years. But I just want to say that's a lot of money. Like, to jump from more than double payments a month is a lot of money that people don't have. Like, most people live paycheck to paycheck. And what happens if you don't pay that money is your wages will be garnished, you'll go into collections, and you'll go into more debt. And the thing is, people know what they signed up for, right? They know they signed up for these student loans, and they know that they have to pay them back. But it's not the actual student loans, it's the interest that's the biggest problem. Which I saw somebody else post that they paid $120,000 towards their student loans in the last 10 years. And it's only made their actual student loan debt go down by $4,000. So they've paid $116,000 just towards interest. That is insane and so unfortunate.
I mean, here it is, guys. Like, if you have student loans, you have to figure out a way to pay them off as fast as freaking possible. And if that means you're working 80 to 100 hours a week for the next 3 or 4 years, I know it sucks, but you got to do it. Plain and simple. Whenever my wife and I graduated college, the first thing we said we were going to do before we made any big girl and big boy life decision, because we were, now officially adults, we had our degrees, we had our careers, we said we're not doing anything until we pay off these student loans. We're going to rent a decent apartment that we could afford, that was way below our means, way below our budget, and every single extra dollar we had went towards paying off our student loans. And it was probably one of the best decisions that we could have ever made. You guys gotta pay the student loans. Gotta pay them off.